Not Facebook on there. There it is.
Oh, there it is.
So somehow,
Hi,
Jack,
Oh, you
I'm not
caught.
streaming to Facebook, so I don't know what I
everybody!
did wrong.
Oh
You
There
no!
you
just
are.
All right.
just
You are.
caught me
Uh,
trying
No,
to
it's
fix
streaming.
something.
Huh?
It is
It's
What?
now?
streaming to Facebook.
Oh, it must
Am
have
I?
just started because
It's not
no,
showing me Facebook. I got YouTube, I got Twitch, I got Rumble, but I
Huh?
don't see
It's
I'm
Facebook.
not
showing.
seeing Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah? You sure?
I
Wait,
don't
I
see
hear
it.
it.
I show. Wait, no, that's last week.
Yeah.
I was
So,
like, no,
and
it's in
so
there.
I was looking at how to share this stupid page. I can't find it. Anyhow. Oh
Hi,
my God.
everybody.
Hi, how's
Hi.
everybody doing? What's up? How's it
Uh,
going?
somehow.
Oh, it's going great. How about you
Here,
guys?
here, not so good. So I'll figure this out. Anyhow, well, you got. Well, actually, hi,
Welcome
Ken. Take it
to
away. Help me
AMOK
out.
as
Help.
usual.
Yeah,
As
help me
Hey.
usual.
out,
Oh
Ken.
no, I'm not going to do that. No mo. No.
No mo.
It's Mo week, so it's my turn,
It
and
Yes.
is.
I'm going to talk about for the next 37 minutes uh, Mo happenings.
37.
Well, 37 seconds maybe. Okay.
Mm.
Anyway, let's see. First thing coming up is in the near in the area near me, KarmaCon. It's a metaphysical conference, and that's in Gaze, Illinois. It's coming up this Saturday on March the 22nd. June 26th through the 29th, also in Illinois, my favorite foreign country. Um, we have the Haunted America Conference, and that's up in Alton, Illinois this year.
Nice.
Which I mean, these places are like, for me, it's like an hour away or 30 minutes. Anyway, the
That's
Haunted America Conference. I think this is their 28th year for their conference.
that's cool.
It is
Wow.
great. I know I went the last 2 years, and then I missed a whole bunch before that. But I know I've been to probably at least 10 of them over the last 28 years. It's a great conference.
You
And
said
Uh,
it's
that's
so
Haunted
Troy Taylor's.
America?
Haunted America Conference. That's with Troy Taylor. Does
Yeah.
a great
Oh,
job with it,
yeah.
and his group. And I know them all. I've been hanging out with them for who knows how many years. But it's a great time.
It's
All
awesome.
right, another thing I just found today. Hey, this is also in Illinois. Who would have thunk about that? But the Haunted Galena Conference. It's
Haunted
up in
Galena.
Galena. It's Galena, Illinois, from April 4th through the 6th. Now, some of these first, well, this last two I just mentioned, those are both right along the Mississippi River, and that's just, well, if you take the river up there, you're only talking about maybe an hour, but roads, it takes about 3 hours, whatever. But that's a nice place up that way too. A lot of history in those areas. A couple weeks ago, we talked about a brand new venue in Missouri called the Aurora Brothel, and that's down in Aurora, Missouri. You can look up online to schedule a visit and an overnight there. It looks like a pretty amazing place, and I know that myself and I'm not sure how many yet, but could be 6 to 8 more people, friends of mine. We're all going there in August. Oh, the one down there waving this way. No, I can't get my finger the right way. Everything's
Me?
backwards.
Okay.
Why is
I'm
everything
back.
backwards?
I don't know because he's
Anyway,
backwards.
I don't know. Maybe I got to turn my camera around, but I don't know
I'm
how to
sad
do
I have
that.
to miss.
Is it a setting?
I don't
That's what.
know.
We'll talk about that later.
You look right to me.
Yeah.
Well, I always feel left out though, but that's okay. PTF, Paranormal Task Force, they have an overnight coming up in May at the Pythian Castle down in Springfield, Missouri.
Nice.
Pythian is an amazing place. I've been with these guys probably 3 or 4 times in the past 10 years. And I know we spent some time there, 2 years ago now?
Years ago, yeah.
Well, a year and a half, whatever. So
God, has it been that long already?
I
Yeah.
know you guys are getting old.
I know.
But their next event, they usually do it a couple times a year, but their next one is May 31st. Apex Paranormal, they're going to be hosting something out at the Missouri State Pen. That's in Jefferson City, Missouri on April the 26th.
Nice.
I know I've mentioned Hermann, Missouri quite a few times, and Hermann's a great place. It's definitely our wine country here in Missouri. It's about an hour from me. Hermann, Missouri, the Hermann Wurst Fest. And that is actually this weekend, the 21st and the 22nd.
It's the worst.
That's right. It is the worst. And it's the best of the worst, too. Let's see. April 25th and 26th, Branson, Missouri. They have the Branson Music Festival. That could be quite interesting, and that's not too far from you guys.
Right.
No.
Well, it's kind of central. It's like a little over 4 hours for me. About an hour from me also. I like this. This is great. Washington, Missouri Barbecue and Blues Fest.
Ooh,
That sounds awesome.
good.
That sounds great.
And that's going to be April 25th
like
through
food.
the 27th.
I do like food.
No, he likes big food.
I had big food twice today, so I was really happy. And
You must have a high metabolism. I mean, extreme.
no, that's why I'm a
was
fat
fun.
boy.
Chicks.
Okay. Anyway, that's in Washington, Missouri, and that's along the Missouri River. So yeah, we got a lot of riverside stuff going on here. Another one is coming up. Looks like the same weekend, April 26th through the 27th. We have the Central Missouri Renaissance Festival. That's out in Kingdom City, and I think Kingdom City is along Highway 70, not too far from Mizzou, I believe. So that should be a lot of fun as well. So those are the highlights for the next 4 to 6 weeks, and a little bit beyond.
Nice.
For me and for Mo and for Moyle.
Moyle?
For Moyle, yeah, Missouri and Illinois.
Moyle.
Jeez.
Yeah.
We
He
do
kind of
actually,
straddled.
we do have a town in Missouri down in Boot Hill area called Ilmo.
Ilmo.
Ilmo?
ILMO. It's right there.
Elmo!
Yes, correct, but it's with an I. But yeah.
That was a terrible.
Oh, I'm going to be a groucher. Oh, I'm gonna stop it.
I don't do good. I don't do
Editorial
good impersonations. But anyhow, who do we got? Did we already forget who we got again?
No, John
We
Russell.
we
Psych
have-
Of
comedian.
course,
John-
it's John Russell. Yeah, we knew that. We knew that last week too. We were just trying
Hey.
to. Be
Yeah, we were
fun.
playing. Yeah,
What?
we were just playing. Right?
I was just
Weird.
kidding.
So yes, we have John Russell. He
And
is
he's
a
a-
side kick.
A side?
A sidekick, not a side kick.
Not
Oh,
not
my
a side
Lord.
chick. Side chick. He's not a side chick. Not a side kick.
I'm so
He's
sorry.
Correct. He's a sidekick. And we're going to welcome him all the way from Texas, now over
He's
in
No.
not just a psychic.
Hold up.
He's a
Now
criminal
in Florida.
investigator and an author.
now Florida.
So
He's
that's right.
from.
He's an author too.
And a
Oh,
tarot reader, and he does a lot of things.
He does a lot of
Yeah.
cool stuff that we're going to
Wow,
find
why
out
don't
more
we-
about.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
bring
have
him
him.
on.
I think
Let's
he's
see where he
smiling.
go.
I can kind of see him. I think he's got a
Let's see where
grin.
he pops up. He pops up in the right place.
Oh,
too.
he's over there
Hey.
laughing. We're gonna
Welcome
have him, he's going to have a heart
aboard.
attack from us. Good thing
What?
Adrian
Yeah.
is a EMT.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
no,
X-ray
he's
tech.
an X-ray
I'll
tech.
take a picture of you dying. I'm not going to help save your life, though. I'm like, oh, like, who's dying? Click.
What's going
I'm
on,
not.
guys?
Oh, I hope that was a
Hi.
good. I hope that was a good intro for you.
That was a
Well,
great intro. And funny
well,
enough, you said sidekick. I spent many years of my life studying many different martial arts. So
Oh,
sidekick is apropos.
All right. Well, see, I must be psychic also,
There you go.
no,
There you
or
go.
no,
sidekick, whatever.
he's saying sidekick more along the lines of Tybo and not Robin.
There
So
you go. There you go.
All right. Well, I was
you see
thinking,
how martial
no,
arts
no, no,
savvy
no,
I
no,
am. I
no,
went to
no, no.
Tybo.
You're wrong, Adrian. You're wrong. I was thinking of Kato.
Kato.
There
oh.
you go. The Green Hornet. Yeah, the
There you
Green Hornet.
go, Kato.
There
Yeah,
you go.
I think he'd do some sidekicks.
Well, it's good to be here with you guys.
Awesome. Good to have
Good to have you on the
Thank
show.
you.
you. Thank you.
So,
So can
so go ahead.
well,
Take it away.
I was gonna say, can you tell us a little bit about your journey into the world of psychic reading and what inspired you to become a professional kick?
It's professional sidekick, yes. Well, it started when I was 5 years old.
Oh
And
wow.
I saw, long story short, I saw my first ghost at the age of 5. And he opened up a
Unsettling.
portal to these physical paranormal manifestations that began to occur in my life. And not only did I experience them, but lots of other people experienced them. They saw them as well on the physical realm. And then shortly after that, my psychic gift activated. And I became aware that I could predict people's futures. I could see into their futures. I could see into their past. I could read their emotions, their thoughts, what was going on. And around the age of 11, I began to study everything on the planet that I could. I had a really strong ability to read with comprehension at an early age. I mean, like around age 11, 12, I was reading William James, The Varieties of Religious Experience, and studying Freud and Jung and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
And my main focus in doing that was I had had so many paranormal experiences by that time that and I had seen so much fraud and fakery, both in the spiritual realm, the paranormal realm, and the religious realm, that it spurred me to determine what was real and what wasn't, what worked and what didn't. So I read everything I could get my hands on, everything. And I experienced everything I could, and I studied everything I could, and I learned everything I could, and I watched and observed everything I could. And by doing that, I found out what was real and what wasn't, what worked and what didn't. And my determination was to get rid of the chaff, to get rid of the things that didn't work and to find what did work and then to apply that in my life and eventually to learn how to teach other people to apply that in their lives. And it's been a long, long journey of discovery. Um, I've read professionally for over 50 years now. I've read for clients in over 40 countries. I've had thousands of paranormal manifestations occur on the physical realm. Other people have witnessed these. We've recorded them. We've videotaped them. We've audio recorded them. People have seen them with their own eyes. And the whole focus of my journey has always been let's find out the truth. Let's find out what works. Let's find out what's real. Let's get away from the dogma. Let's get away from the tradition. Let's get away from the ritual because it doesn't work, doesn't serve
Right.
anybody, it doesn't help. And so I wanted to get away from that. And I wanted to teach people that the paranormal realm is real and you can connect with it for your benefit to help you in your life and to learn not only your spiritual growth, but to help you physically. An example, my guardian angels have literally saved my life on more than one occasion by physical intervention. And I can tell you some of those stories, and they're just amazing. But my whole purpose in all of this is to get people to get away from the ghost hunter type shows on TV that totally portray an inaccurate representation of what it's like to interact with the spiritual realm or to be psychic. And
Well, to be fair, they're for entertainment.
they're
So
there for
yeah.
they're there for entertainment. And to get people to understand that this realm is real. It's not nothing to fear. There's not a demon behind every bush going to run out and grab you and all this
Ooh.
type of thing, and how to connect with it in a way that makes sense. And that's why I wrote my third book, 20 Ways to Increase Your Psychic Abilities. When I wrote that book, it was with the intent of stripping away all the dogma, tradition, ritual, superstition, nonsense psychic speak, and to strip all that away and to present something to people in a plain way that they could understand, that they could learn, apply in their lives, and make their lives better. So that's been my focus through all of this. And with my psychic readings, it's never been a pie in the sky, by and by type thing. It's always been very practical, down to earth. This is what I see. Here's how to apply it to help your life. Here's how to move forward in a positive way. Here's what I see coming to avoid. Here's what I see coming to connect with and enhance your life. So that's been my life's work.
That's great. What
That's
was the name?
cool.
The name of
Wow.
that book? That's awesome. The book was 20 Ways to Increase
20 ways to increase your psychic abilities. Yeah, that's
Psychic.
my third
Okay.
book. And
Yeah.
I've got 4 books in print now. Another one's coming out this year, and more are on the way.
Wow.
That's
That's
awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
You know, and we've talked to a few people, and I know I've met a lot of people around here. Um, on a particular point, did you, at the age of 5 or or even anywhere in between, you mentioned that you were saved by guardian angels a couple times. I know what that's like.
Yeah.
But did you ever have any NDE experiences that might have kicked off a lot of what you're now able to do?
No,
Okay.
the whole thing activated when I saw my first ghost,
Okay.
and it was like he came to open up the portal to all of this.
Okay.
And that seemed to be his whole entire function, was to open up all this, to awaken my psychic gift, to get
Okay.
me connected to these experiences. And I realized it was important. And being 5 or 6, I couldn't articulate it. I couldn't
Sure.
put it into words, but intuitively I understood, hey, this is something that is really serious. It's really important. And I've got to hang on to this, and I've got to pursue this, and I've got to understand this, because down the road, it's going to help me, and it's going to enable me to help a lot of other people.
Sure.
Well, who is this spirit that helped you open?
It was an old black ghost, and my family's white, obviously. And this was a time of great prejudice. I don't think we even had any black friends at the time. We certainly didn't have anyone black living with us. And I had gone to sleep, and I woke up in the middle of the night, just totally, completely wide awake. No drowsiness, no grogginess, nothing. Just wide awake. And I thought, well, this is weird. What caused that? And I laid there in my bed and listened. I thought, well, maybe there was a noise outside, and something, maybe a tree branch at the house or something. I laid there and listened. Everything was quiet. And so I raised up on my elbows in the bed to look around the room, and my parents had put a nightlight in the hallway so I could see to get up, go to the bathroom or whatever. My bedroom door was open in the hallway. And as I raised up and looked down the hallway, there was this elderly black man staring around the door frame down the hall into my bedroom looking at me. And I
Again, friendly.
screamed bloody murder, because I figure, okay, an intruder's broken in, somebody's entered the house. This is
Yeah.
nobody we know. Guy doesn't belong here. And he wasn't translucent, he wasn't transparent, he was as
Oh
solid as
wow,
you or I.
solid.
And
Wow.
when he walked
I
when I screamed, he walked around the doorway into the hall, started walking toward me, toward my bed. And I knew he was an elderly black guy because he had close cropped white hair and a white mustache. And I can describe the clothes he had on. He had on a red plaid flannel shirt. He had khaki pants, black belt, black shoes. And he never looked away from me. His eyes locked with mine. He kept walking toward me. And he was every bit as solid as you or I. And I screamed bloody murder again. My parents came running, and when they got near to my bedroom, then he began to vanish, began to disappear until he was gone. And I was yelling and screaming and crying, and they were like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I said, "There's somebody in the house," even though I've just seen him vanish. And they said, "No, no, you just had a bad dream." I said, "No, there's somebody in this house. Look, there's somebody in this house." And my father went and checked every door, every window. Of course, everything was locked up tight. Nothing was broken. He looked under the beds and looked in the closets. I mean, that's how real my urgency and fright was that I conveyed to him. And of course, found no one. And then it occurred to me, I've just seen my first ghost. And
yeah.
it's like, okay. And then try to get back to sleep after that,
Oh,
And
yeah.
for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm looking over my shoulder all the time. It's like, why did this guy come? It scared the hell out of me. Is he going to come back again? Why? Is he going to want to talk to me this time? Is he going to want to ask me to do something weird or whatever? And then it was somewhere during that time frame that I had the epiphany, oh, this guy came to open up the portal of these experiences I began to have. They were physical paranormal experiences that occurred on the physical realm. And my parents experienced them with me, and friends would experience them. And then it dawned on me, it's like, oh, okay, this is why this guy came, but why me and why these? And then it dawned on me, okay, this is going to be important in my life. This is going to help me to help other people.
Did
Now,
you
does he still hang around you?
I'm sorry?
Does he still hang around you?
I've never seen him again, as far as I know. As far as I know, that was his sole task, to come and open that portal and awaken my psychic gift. And then he did his work and he was gone. And I've dedicated some books to him, and I've blessed him, and I've said, hey, if you ever get the chance, come see me again. I promise I won't scream this time.
Well, I guess
I've never seen him again.
I guess I'm the muggle here. I don't know, because I'm not psychic at all. I got no psychic ability. Now, but you said something that was interesting to me, because you said you saw him and it was solid. You didn't not translucent at all.
Right.
Now, I've seen full body apparitions, and I've seen parts.
Yeah.
And they were never translucent.
Yeah.
Even the parts, I could never see through. It was never like a movie where you could see, the bookshelf through the person. That always looked like a person. So, do you see translucent people?
Sometimes.
And is that them just? So that's them just projecting versus them being there, you think, or what?
No, there's some seem to be able to manifest more fully than others. And I have experienced several full-bodied apparitions like that. And then I've experienced some that were very wispy, some that were translucent, some that were transparent, some that were just a mist. I've experienced all kinds of experiences that way. But
I've seen mist, a lot of shadows and stuff like that. But even the shadows, well, I guess the shadows are fairly translucent. Some of them are like
are pretty solid,
black. Yeah. But yeah, whenever I come down to seeing a ghost, I guess they're all ghosts, but seeing what looks like a person, always actually just like that, look like a person.
Yeah.
I keep waiting to see. I keep waiting to see that Civil War ghost that everybody sees, but I never.
Right.
I've got photos, but that's about it. I never seen one. But have you ever had any on these full body apparitions? Have you ever had any physical contact with them?
Oh yeah,
like
I've been
handshakes, slap, pat on the back, stuff.
Yeah, I've been touched, and all types of things like that. I've experienced all manner of being grabbed, being touched, this, that, and the other.
Okay.
Never hurt, never scratched, never threatened, never pushed, but I have experienced a lot of touches. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've actually shaken the hand of one. I didn't know it wasn't real.
Ah, there you go.
And I had a 10-minute conversation. My friends were all looking at me like, what the hell are you doing?
Awesome.
We had 10 people there. 5 of us saw the guy. I talked to him. 5 of them didn't. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. About
that is great.
8 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
But when you were talking about, the portal, you mentioned the portal. That your guide, or whatever you want to call the spirit, opened up. What hit me was, did you ever consider that maybe that spirit came to tell you that you're the portal?
No,
and not a portal, but if you consider that maybe you're the portal.
No, he opened a portal to this for me, for it to come through to me. And I'm not necessarily a portal, but I'm a magnet. I'm an attraction. And I attract the paranormal. I attract spirits. I attract these experiences. They're almost constant. They have been for my entire life. And it's just what I'm magnetized to do. But I'm not a portal per se, no.
When you say you're a magnet and stuff like that, have you ever had an attachment to you?
Look, the thing about attachments, I know the attachment is a big thing now. What people think is that we live in this void, and then we go to a haunted house, and there's a spirit there, and the spirit attaches itself to us and comes home with us. And this is as far from the truth as you can get, because everywhere that everybody sits watching this, listening to this, wherever you're at right now, you're in a room full of spirit beings now.
I believe that.
Wherever you're at, okay? Every place is haunted. Every place has spirits. You have the spirits of your deceased loved ones. You have your guardian angel spirit guides around you. There's elemental spirits around you. There's beings that we don't even know who they are, what they are, how to describe. They're there with you. And the analogy that I give people that makes sense to them is wherever you're sitting right now may be totally quiet. But guess what's going through the airwaves right now? Country music,
Yeah.
jazz music, rock music,
Mhm.
cell phone conversations, everything else. You don't hear them. You're not aware that they're there. But if you get a radio, plug it in, turn it on, turn the dial, oh, there's a country station. Guess what? You're picking up the airwave that's there with you right now, all the time. So it's the same thing with spirits. They are around you all the time, wherever you're at. There's no such thing really as an attachment because they're all around you all the time, anyways. And with an attachment, you're simply becoming aware of something that's already there. And so these spirits are always all around you, and there's ways to learn to tune into that realm and become aware of that. And then you learn that, okay, um, and we have so many misconceptions about, like attachments and about demons and about malevolence and all this, and that's not the case. That's not normal. That's not the average experience. And
No, I would not say that's average,
I'll
but
tell you.
I do believe that it happens.
Well, and not to the degree that people think. And a lot of what happens is, I'm going to give you an example of this. A lot of what happens is we have misunderstanding and misrepresentation of what we experience. Now, the main reason that we assign these things to what we experience is because of our religious upbringing. We're raised in a Christian church. We're raised by the Bible. We're raised that anything that happens in the church paranormal, that's okay. Anything happens outside the church paranormal, that's demonic, that's satanic, that's malevolent, going to get you or whatever. So our knee-jerk reaction when something happens is, oh my God, oh that demon, Satan, or whatever, whatever. That's our default mechanism that we go to. The other thing that we go to by default is that we've been taught that anything paranormal is dangerous, might be malevolent, is going to hurt you, going to attach itself to you, going to get possessed, whatever, 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 which is the furthest thing from the truth. So what we do is we go through life with that set of assumptions. And when I was shooting the TV pilot for the History Channel, I was at this one place, and one of the docents came over and said, when you get to a break in filming, I've got to talk to you. This ghost tried to kill me. I was like, oh my God. Because I've been through 9 zillion of these cases, and they're all either drug fueled, alcohol fueled, mental illness fueled, misrepresented, misinterpreted, whatever. So I immediately knew no ghost tried to kill her. I said, no ghost tried to kill. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I'll tell you about it. So I was like, okay, when we get a break in the filming, we'll talk. So while we were filming, I tuned in just real quickly. The other side cued me into what was going on. We got to the break in the filming. She came up, can we talk? Can we talk? I was like, yeah. So we went to another room away from the camera crew and the other docents and all that. And I said, okay, what happened? She said, I was standing in my kitchen and I was at the sink washing dishes, and from across the kitchen where this cupboard is, this door opened by itself, and this dish flew out of the cupboard, flew across the kitchen, hit the wall right by my head, and shattered into a jillion pieces. Ghost tried to kill me.
Not trying to
I
kill
said,
you.
Try to get your
That's trying
attention.
to get your attention. Yeah.
well, that's exactly what it was, and that was only what it was. And I told her, I
Yeah.
said, I've already connected with the other side, and they've explained to me what's happened. I said, the ghost wasn't trying to kill you, wasn't even trying to hurt you. If he was, he'd have hit you with the damn thing. I said,
Mhm.
here's the situation. For a long time, the other side's been trying to connect with you and guide you and lead you and give you help through communication, and you've been ignoring it and pushing it away. And I said, they have ramped up increasingly to try and get your attention. And finally, it's like, okay, ignore this.
Yeah.
Bam. You
Yeah.
can't ignore
Ignore
this.
this.
And so I said, that's all it is. They're trying to get your attention. They're not trying to harm you, but you've been pushing them away. And she admitted, yeah, she had kind of been getting this feedback from the other side, and she was afraid of it and didn't want it and kind of pushed it away. I said, okay, open up to this because they have important things to tell you. They have ways to lead you and to guide you. And so There's an example where people go to the default mechanism, the ghost tried to kill me. I had another really funny one time where a lady was watching one of these quote unquote world famous psychics who's deceased now on TV, and they said, if you want a ghost, just ask for one. The ghost will come to you. And the lady said, oh, that sounds like fun. So she did, and a ghost came to her, and she called me up, and she said, John, and she told me the story, told me how she got the thing, what the lady said, and she said, so I honest to God, got a ghost. A ghost really came to me. And she said, it scared the life out of me. And she said, I asked it to go away and it wouldn't go away. And so I moved. I left the house I was in, moved to another house, trying to get rid of the ghost. The ghost followed me. And then she said, now, while I'm there, the ghost will go up and down the street and set off all the car alarms in sequence up one side of the street and then down the other. And she said the neighbors have called the cops on me because they said this never happened till this lady moved in. She's got to be causing it somehow. And so the cops come out. Now they're talking to me and they're standing on my front porch and the car alarms go off in sequence up one side of the street and down the other. And the cops look at each other and they look at me and they look at each other and they go, don't know what the heck's happening here, but she ain't done. It has nothing to do with it. We're out of here. So she said, what do I do now? I said, okay. You see a stray dog on the street and you go, here, boy, here, boy, here, boy, come here, come here. And he's like, oh, hot damn, I'm home. And he's all happy.
Yeah.
And you take him home and then you go, I don't want this dog. Get out of here. Open the back door. Go, 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 shoot. I said, that's what you've done to a sentient being on the other side. Whoever, whatever this is, you said, hey, come into my life. And he said, okay, hot dog. Got a home, got a person that wants me, got some nice energy here. Go away, go away, go away. What?
Oh.
And you hurt his feelings. And I said, now you moved, tried to leave it behind, just like you'd leave a dog behind in the backyard after you move, and oh, somebody will find it and take care of it. And you move to this other place, and the spirit's telling you now, hey, look, don't do this to me. And he's setting off these car alarms to get your attention and to aggravate you and to stir things up. It's like, look, you haven't treated me right here. And she said, okay, that kind of makes sense. I said, now here's what you do. And I said, there's other things we can do if this doesn't work, but this will work. I said, here's what you do. Talk to the spirit that you invited into your home. Say, listen, I did invite you. I did want you, and then it scared me, and I tried to get rid of you, and I'm sorry. You haven't harmed me. You haven't hurt me. So let's do this. It startled me a little bit. You're real. These things are really happening. And that kind of freaked me out. So let's take it easy. You're welcome to be here, but do things slowly. Don't do quite as dramatic demonstrations as you have been. Let's kind of ease into this thing and watch over me and guide me. And I'm going to send you good energy and you send me good energy. Protect me, watch over the house. And when I have to leave, if you don't come with me, you stay here and watch after the house, make sure nothing goes haywire. And let's have a good relationship like that. And I said, this will solve that. And if it doesn't, call me back. Things will be all right, though. And so she did what I said, and it solved it. So this is the problem that we have going into spiritual communication. We've been taught everything's demonic. We've been taught everything's dangerous. We've been taught every ghost's going to hurt you. We've been taught you're going to get an attachment. You're going to open a portal to hell. You're going to open a portal to demons. And then we watch the ghost hunters on TV who claim to be serious, professional, educated, diligent, and they go in a room and they go, show yourself, and the ghost does, and they scream like girls and run. So it's like, so this is what we've been taught, and this is why people react this way. And I have done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of paranormal investigations in my lifetime. I have never been in a situation where I was hurt. I have never been in a situation where I was fearful. I have never been in a situation where I felt like, oh God, I brought something evil home with me. I've never encountered any of that. And I go into situations.
Then you're lucky, man.
No, I'm not.
You're lucky. I'm telling you. I'm a skeptic, right? So I didn't believe anything in ghosts.
Right.
Not a single one until 1999. As a matter of fact, you told me you saw a ghost. If I would have met you pre-1999, I would have openly mocked you. I was not a skeptic.
Yeah.
then. I was a 100% non-believer.
Right. Right.
Then I had an experience. Then I had to open mine up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm one of these people. I've got to witness something. I got to experience it before I believe that thing.
Yeah.
And so I come across a lot of things and saw a lot of stuff. And here are the stories that people tell me. And then what I'm witnessing when I'm doing the investigation is totally different. It's like, okay, you're just misunderstanding things, like you're saying.
Mhm.
And but I do believe that there are other things out there. And because we ran into a situation at a home that did not play by the books that people think.
Mhm.
Yeah. So not everything plays nice, and there are things that
Well,
can
it
get
doesn't,
you, which is
and
why.
there's a reason for that. We have to
Okay.
understand when we go into any investigation, regardless of where it is, if it's our own home or a castle or the woods or somebody else's home, whatever, we're going into a spiritual environment that is peopled by spiritual beings. Now,
Mhm.
some of those beings may be deceased loved ones. Some of those people may be guardian angels. Some of those people may be spirit guides. Some of those people may be elementals. Some of those spirits there may be beings that we don't really quite know who and what they are. And they may not necessarily be malevolent, but they may be easily ticked off. They may be easily offended. They may be territorial. And so when we go in, the first thing that I do when I go into any situation is I go in with great respect, and I go in, I introduce myself, I tell them who I am and what I do. I invite them to check out the spiritual retinue that goes with me everywhere I go, and to interact with them and to get a feel for them, to get a sense of me and why I'm there. And I tell them, look, I don't come here to be rude or to aggravate you or to intrude on your territory. I don't want to offend you. And I'm here to see if I can learn from you. Is there
Oh,
anything you need from me? Is there anything I need from you? And then progress that way. And as a result of that, I've never had a bad experience. I am aware of spirits that are very twitchy, that are very temperamental, and they can be ticked off, and maybe they don't like a person that's investigating with you, and so they act out. But
oh yeah.
but it doesn't necessarily mean they're malevolent or anything. If I took you guys in some of the bars that I've been in my life, I've been an old biker since I was 15 years old, and I've been in bars that police were afraid to go into that I was comfortable in. And
Right.
if I took you guys into some of these bars, there might be some people in there that look, oh, John, there he is, and hey, Ken, how you doing? And who's this Adrian guy? I don't like this guy. You know? And so
Fair
it's
enough.
same way on the other side, you know.
I
So
look like a cop.
we have to take
I
that.
almost.
Do
Hey,
what?
John. Hey,
He looks like a cop.
I look like a cop.
hey, John. I just want to know: have you been for the past 20 some odd years? Have you been teaching me? Because everything you're saying, I say every bit of that
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And I have a lecture that I give, and you guys have all heard it a couple years ago. I have a lecture called "Fun with Spirits,"
Yeah.
and I have learned that, man, spirits, they when a person dies, they don't lose their um, you know they don't lose
Her
their sense of
attitude.
humor, their attitude,
Exactly.
whatever. It's the same on both sides of the veil.
Exactly right.
And
Exactly
so
right.
I have learned that they all have moods. I mean, I've experienced anger,
Sure.
frustration. Those are the ones that you got to
Yes.
be careful with, and you don't piss them off
Exactly.
because they
Exactly.
can hurt you, and
Yeah.
they will hurt you because they're upset.
Yeah.
So, and when you were
Yeah.
talking about
Had a Ghostbusters here. I ain't afraid of no ghost.
then they turn around and run, yeah. But when you said that plate, I've had that experience before. And
Yeah.
if I'm doing a private investigation, or if somebody calls me and says, "Man, I've got weird stuff going on. Things are being thrown at me, and blah blah
Mhm.
blah,"
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Okay, I already know what's going on."
Oh, sure.
And my question to them, that just like you said, diffuses it, is, okay, here's my question. One question will tell me what I need to do.
Mhm.
Are they throwing these things at you,
Or to get your attention.
or near you? That's my
Yeah. To
question.
get your attention. Exactly right.
Whichever way, if it's
Yeah.
at you, well, we got an anger problem, most
Right.
likely. If
Right.
it's near you, will you please listen to
Pay
them?
attention. Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
I have to interrupt you and answer Julie's
But
question
go ahead.
here. But bad people equal bad spirits. Now, I'm not saying, look, here on earth, you read the news, you know, we've got bad people. And so if a bad person dies, like when Hitler went to the other side, I don't think he got his halo and was all of a sudden, ah, you know. And so obviously there are bad people, bad spirits. And obviously there can be, I think, I wouldn't quite want to say malevolent spirits, but I would say spirits that have to be
That are
really
assholes.
respected and really you tread
Oh.
cautiously around them. Okay. So no, I don't think everything is sunshine and roses everywhere, either on this side or the other side. But it's not like people have made it out to be. That's not the common experience. And I look at some of these shows where I was watching a show today that I hadn't seen before. There was paranormal investigators over in Ireland, and they were pretty decent, fairly stable, up to the point where something grabbed this guy. And when he grabbed the guy, he screamed like a girl and ran like, oh, oh, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, dude, this is why you're there. What are you
Right?
freaking out for? You know, show me your presence, show me you're there. And it does. And then you're like, oh my God, what do I do? And so it's like, you know, look, we have to understand that if we go into a situation where there are invisible presences and we say, communicate with me, show yourself to me. Okay, I'm here. Uh, I'm here. You know, how else are they going to get our attention? Sometimes they can speak to us audibly. Sometimes they can. Sometimes they can speak to us psychically. Sometimes they can. But it seems like the other side has an easy time manipulating physical reality. We hear footsteps. We get aromas. Ghosts slam doors. Ghosts open windows. All this type of thing. So when we ask for a physical demonstration, somebody going to grab you. Hey, I'm here. Oh, a ghost grabbed me by the shoulders. It tried to choke me. It tried to kill me. It tried to throw me down the stairs. You
I
asked
think
for
the
a
last time I was
demonstration.
actually grabbed, I had my arm grabbed, and I said, "Tom, just grab my arm, take a picture." Is what
Yeah,
I mean.
Good.
That's
there you
that's
go.
that's
Exactly
that's.
right.
I don't get excited.
Yeah.
I'm just like I've
Well,
seen so much
that's what you're there
that
for, you
that.
know?
Well, yeah, we've seen so much. My whole team is that way too. We're like,
Yeah.
uh, there's something over there, and we're all like, okay, click, and
Yeah. And what I try and tell people
put your
is,
hand
look,
up.
when you're going into a situation where you want to investigate the paranormal, when you want to find something out, don't strive for demonstration, strive for communication.
Yep.
Because if you go into a place and you set up REM pods and you do all this and blah, 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 and the REM pod
Don't
goes
do that.
off, okay, there's a spirit here, you've got a demonstration, but you haven't got a communication.
Right.
Try and find out who the spirit is, why it's there, what it wants to communicate. And if you don't have a psychic with you or good psychic ability or whatever, go back to the old table tipping method. Hey, light the REM pod once for yes and light the REM pod twice for no, you know, whatever. The purpose is not just to get demonstration, but to get a communication.
Yep.
And I see all these people go in and do all these things. They've got all this high tech gear. They validate that there are spirits there. They validate there's stuff going on, and then they don't talk to the spirit. They don't communicate with the spirit. They don't ask why it's there. They don't ask if it wants anything. Blah blah blah. You know.
That's what I take. I take a camera
There
and I
you
take a
go.
recorder,
There you go.
and I use my brain and my eyes.
There you go. There you go.
So Adrian came across with his skepticism, and I have a question for you on that. How do you
Yeah.
approach the skepticism from clients or from anyone whenever you're either doing a reading or you're
Yeah.
doing investigations?
Well, you know, when I was young, I'm going to be 71 this month, so I've been around the block a few times in this thing. And when I was young, I took delight in blowing skeptics' minds. It was a challenge. I relished it. I loved it. Now I'm too old and tired, and I just don't care anymore. But back in the day, I'll give you an example. That's a story coming up in my fifth book that comes out this year. Um, I had a dear friends of the family. This is when I was young. I was, oh God, was I? I was either in my teens still, or maybe real early 20s, maybe 20, something like that. And I had friends of the family that she was a staunch believer in the paranormal, and the guy that she lived with was not. And I was great friends with them. I went to their house all the time, and he knew what we both believed. And she told him, she said, I have known some of the most famous psychics of our time, and I'm more interested in John's gifts and developments than anybody I have seen. And that was a great honor and a great privilege to me. But of course, he didn't care. He didn't believe in any of it, period, in discussion. So finally, one day, I went over there, and I would go over often. We'd have dinner together. We'd sit around and talk and all this. And they were just great people to me. They were kind of mentors and kind of family figures almost to me. And so we were sitting there one night and went over early, and he said, John, I want you to give me a reading. And I was like, holy cow, man, blew my hair back. And he said, now I don't want to ask you any questions. I don't want to tell you anything. I just want you to give me a reading. And he said, I've been very skeptical about this. He said, I know I respect you as a person. I love you as a person. But he said, that I don't believe in this, but give me a reading. And I said, okay. So I started giving him the reading, and his eyes got real wide, and he looked over at her and he said, you swore you wouldn't tell him. And she said, what? And she said, you swore you would not tell him. She said, I didn't. And he said, that's impossible because he can't know this. You had to have told him beforehand what I was going to ask, what my concerns or what my question was. She said, I swear to God, I haven't. So he looked at me and he said, John, he said, you've never lied to me, and I respect your word, and I respect you as a person. He said, I'm going to ask you, as my friend, as a man to man, as a gentleman to gentleman, did she tell you anything or say anything to you at all about this before the reading? And I said, honest to God, no. And so that freaked him out because he was like, you couldn't have known this. So he told his son, who lived in California at the time, and his son said, oh, you've just been taken by one of these charlatans. It's a good cold reading or whatever, and this, that, and the other. And he said, there's no such thing as a psychic. He said, I'm telling you, man. And he said, listen, the son was coming to visit. He said, set me up with this guy. And he said, I'll put an end to this BS. So they called me and said, my son's here and he wants to get a reading with you. And I said, okay, great. So I went over, and the guy sat there and he looked at me and he said, I don't believe in any of this. He said, you're a fraud and a charlatan. He said, my dad's just been taken by a fraud and a charlatan, and that's all you are. This is all bullshit, and you're bullshit, and I don't believe in any of this bullshit. And he said, so give me your reading. And I said, you're the kind of guy I like to read for. And that kind of set him back a little bit, but he got up and he said, I'll tell you what. He said, you sit here at the table, do your little thing. And he said, I'm going to go over here. And he walked up and stood into the kitchen, and he leaned against the counter and he crossed his arms. And he said, I'm not answering a question. I'm not changing my facial expression. I'm not telling you anything. Do your thing. And it's all bullshit. I said, okay. So I started my reading, and he sat there the whole time like this. I got through with my reading, and he looked down at the floor, and he looked back up at me and he said, I don't know how the hell that you've done what you've done here tonight. But he said, not only has your reading been just about 100% accurate, he said, you discussed or addressed things in my life and issues in my life going on that my parents don't even know about. I haven't even told them about. I haven't told anybody about these things. And you hit all of them the nail on the head, 100%. And he came over and he shook my hand. And he sat down and he said, I apologize. And he said, I don't know how you've done this, but he said, man, this is the real deal. So back in the day, that was my meat and potatoes to do that. But like I say,
yeah.
Now I'm old and I'm tired, and it's like, I don't believe. Okay, good. Go get you a soda or a beer or a milkshake. Eat a hamburger. I don't care.
People do that to
I
me
don't
too.
care.
About
Yeah,
I talk about being a paranormal investigator, and I don't believe in that stuff. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I'm
Fine.
not out to prove
I
anything.
do.
Never
Yeah, I'm
have
not out
been.
to prove anything anymore. And I tell people, I say, look, if you'll get my book, 20 Ways to Increase Your Psychic Abilities, sit down with that with an open mind and do it. on a regular basis, you will prove to yourself that this is real and that these things exist. You can do that for yourself. You don't have to have somebody else, doing that for you. You can do it for yourself and prove it to yourself. So that's the thing.
Hey,
Well,
John,
Oh.
how do you?
when you do public events and people have their first experience, that's always fun to do
Yeah,
that, and
yeah,
to hear
absolutely.
them suck air.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely, absolutely.
So, John, how do you get your messages, or how do you receive your messages to present to others? Are they just words and things popping into your head, or
It comes a lot of different ways. I get
okay,
audible words, I get internal words, I get visions,
okay,
I get feelings, I get aromas, I get physical presences happening, I get all types of things. So it comes a number of different ways.
You
And
say you get visioned. How did that? What is it? I mean,
sometimes
is it just like a thought process, or do you actually see things, or what?
sometimes I actually physically see things, other times I see it in my mind's eye and internally. Um, it comes a lot of different ways, and I've learned over the years through working, studying, training it, and everything, and just the experience of it for all these years, that I know when something comes through that it's a take it to the bank moment.
Hmm.
And I'll tell clients, I'll say, look, okay, this I'm getting, there's about a 70-80% chance here this is going to happen, maybe 20-30% chance it's going to go the other way, and so on and so forth. But then there are things that I get, and it's like, this is going to happen, take it to the bank, and here's how you either avoid it, or here's how you contend with it, or here's how you connect with it, but this is going to happen. And I've had so many of those moments over the years with thousands of my clients that it's become something I can rely on. And it's interesting because there are people that they have their mind made up that they want things to go a certain way. And I tell them, no, that's not going to happen. It's going to happen this way. And they will be so pissed. They'll leave me bad reviews. They'll leave bad reviews on my books. They'll tell me I'm a fraud and a fake and a phony and everything else. And then whatever I said happens. And
I don't leave
they're,
bad reviews. I just go, and I
yeah,
walk on. I go
and
on with my
there
life.
are a few that have actually come back and said, John, I have to apologize. you know,
Uh,
yeah, and you were right. You were right. And I tell people, I say, look, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear in the readings. I'm going to tell you what Spirit gives me. I'm not going to dilute it or filter it. I'm going to give it to you straight. If I know it's coming to me 100% right, I'm going to give it to you 100% right. And I'm going to tell you what to do with that to make your life better and to help your life and to be productive with this thing. And then it's up to you to go and do that. But a lot of people, they don't want that. And it's led to some very interesting things. And there are people that, the amazing thing is people that forget. I had a lady that processed my credit cards, worked for the company that processed my credit cards. And she called me and said, I want a reading. I said, have you ever had a reading before? No, this is my very first one. I said, well, good. Number one, I keep you out of the clutch of the phonies. And so I gave her the reading, and she said, man, you're blowing my hair back. This is incredible. So we get down to the end of the reading, and I said, okay, you're going to move, and you're going to move to Nevada, I think Las Vegas. And I said, you're going to start your own credit card processing company, and you're going to make more money than you've ever made in your life. And she started laughing. She started guffawing. And I was like, what? She said, John, up to now you blow my hair back. But hun, she said, listen, she said, you've got this so wrong. She said, I hate Nevada. I would never move there. I have no intentions of moving anywhere. She said, it would take more connections, more money, more everything that I have to start my own company in this field. And she said, I make so much money now that I'm pretty much topped out. I can't imagine making more money than I make right now. I said, do me a favor, write this down and call me back in several months' time. So in several months' time, she calls me back. She goes, John, moved to Nevada, started my own credit card processing company. I'm making more money than I've ever made in my life. I said, this is awesome. She said, yeah. But she said, I didn't even remember. She said, this girlfriend of mine said, hey, didn't that psychic tell you this is what was going to happen and this is what you were going to do? And she was like, oh, yeah. She had totally, completely forgotten. and her girlfriend had to remind her, and she had to call me back and go, "It happened, it happened." So there's all kinds of convolutions you go through in this stuff. I had I usually read. I don't read for couples because spirit comes through me X-rated, explicit, unfiltered, and it's like there may be things that I don't want my spouse knowing or don't want to know about my past or whatever. So
Yeah,
I don't do
I get
couple.
that.
So yeah, so I had read for this friend of the family, and she said my daughter wants a reading, and she said, "Can I sit in with her?" And I usually don't allow that, but for some odd reason I did this time, and I'm glad I did. And I'm telling her daughter this. Her daughter was seeing this guy, and I said, "This guy is not a suit and tie type. He can never be in an office. He's got to be outdoors. He's got to be where there's some type of physical action, where there's something going on." And the daughter goes, "No, no, 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 no. You're 100% off there. This is not right at all." She said, "He's not a suit and tie guy. He wouldn't sit in an office. He has to be outdoors doing something." And her mother looked at her bug eyed, and I looked at her bug eyed, and her mother said, "Were you not listening? That's just what John said." And she goes, "Oh, he did?" I was like,
That's funny.
"Oh, you have all this weird stuff you go through in
Well, have
reading."
you ever had a situation where it just came to you and you had to either find this person or
Oh, I've been out in bars or restaurants or whatever, and spirit said, "Go over to this person, tell them such and such." So yeah, that happens, and
That goes over well, don't it?
oh man. Well, some people are really receptive, and then some people look at you like you got snakes growing out your ears. And
Get sprayed, pepper sprayed.
yeah, yeah. And I remember this one time I was in a restaurant with a bar, and I was sitting there at the bar, and this lady walked in to get a food order, and I looked over at her, nodded, and me smiled, and I was like, "Oh boy, here we go." And I said, "You're fixing to get married, aren't you?" And she looked at me and she goes, "Excuse me, do I know you?" I said, "No, you don't know me, but you're engaged. You're fixing to get married, aren't you?" She goes, "Yeah, how do you know that? Do I know you from somewhere?" I said, "No, you don't." But I said, "Here," I gave her my card, and I said, "I'm a psychic," and I said, "Spirit tells me to tell you, and take it for what you will. You don't know me from Adam. You can check out my website." But the Spirit tells me, "Run. Don't do this. Don't. You're going to make the biggest mistake of your life if you go through this wedding." And so I told her that and gave her the card and discharged my responsibility. And what happened after that, I don't know. But yeah, there's all kinds of weird things like that happen. And sometimes Spirit will tell me, "Hey, go up to this person, tell them so and so. Go over to this person, tell them so and so." And I always do. And I get these things for people like I'll email people constantly because Spirit will come to me and say, "Hey, tell so and so they need to know this or they need to do this or whatever, whatever." And so I'll email it to them and they'll email me back and they go, "Jaya, how in the world did you know this is exactly what's going on, or this is exactly what I needed to hear, or this is exactly so?" Yeah, that happens all the time. And to me, it's a blessing. It's like being able to help people that way.
Has the spirit ever asked you to deliver really bad news to somebody?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
It's
tough.
and the way that occurs is in readings. Spirit knows what the other person can take.
Okay.
So they'll tell me either, your dad's going to die soon. You need to get on a plane, get up there and spend some time with him because they know the person needs to hear it that way and can accept it that way.
Okay.
And then other times they'll tell them, say, "Hey, have you talked to your grandmother lately?" "Well, no, not as much as I need to." "Well, have you ever thought about going back and seeing her in person? This may be something you really need to do right now."
Okay.
And then it's like, okay, ding, 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 ding. I get it. I need to go see my grandmother. She's going to maybe pass over. And it doesn't come through that direct a message because they know they couldn't take it or say, "Hey, your grandmother's going to die. Hop on a plane." That wouldn't be for them. So they give it to me for them in a different way.
Got it.
But yeah, if whatever news they give me, I'll give it to them the way they tell me to.
Okay. Great.
Well, we need to wrap this up because we have an hour show, but we got so many stories going on, but we didn't really talk about. I want you to take this last minute. I want you to plug your books, where to buy them, how to contact you, if you're doing any events coming up, just whatever. It's all about you.
Well, the website for my readings is johnrussell.net. If you want to find out about my books and all the story behind them and the book signings, books coming up to be published and so on, go to johnrussellauthor.com, johnrussellauthor.com. The books are available at any major online bookseller, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Apple Books. You can get them at Target and Walmart online. You can order through them. All the independent, big and small mom and pop bookstores online. You can order through them. So they're available everywhere. You can get them anywhere online.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, man. I want you to hang around because we're going to come back to you in a second after we after we tell the billions of people bye. But we're going to talk about next week real quick. So hang around.
Great to see everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Here
we'll
we
talk
go.
to you in a minute.
All right. No, that was a good show.
That was a very good show.
That's how I know it's a good show, because I was like, oh my God, it's been an hour already.
It went too fast.
Yeah,
what do we got next week? We've got
Mark D. Walsh and
talking about the Shadows and Spirits Paracon.
Yes.
Yeah, that's in Tennessee on the 3rd of May. So it's something coming up. It's a one-day event too. So that one's fairly close. It's less than 10 hours. I was just talking about everything that happens is like 10 hours from me.
I know.
So anyhow,
part of Tennessee, we'll have to figure that one out.
And who's next week? Who's next week? That would be
me.
Oklahoma. So she'll be ready to talk about Oklahoma stuff. And hey, I'm so glad you guys hung out with me even through all my muckness, because I've had all kinds of issues. So hopefully, because it says I have no viewers, I have no chat, I got no nothing. So hopefully when I hit this exit, it'll actually do that. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.